Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Wuthering Waves. So in today's video, I wanted to really talk to you guys about Zani and, like, of course, best team, and of course, which echo set you want to use on her and the way you want to use the character. All right. So, after her kit got confirmed, we all understand how the character works, the fact that she operates under Spectral Frazzle. So it's really important for you to put her in a Spectral Frazzle team. And as of to right now, there are only two characters in the game that can inflict Spectral Frazzle. If we come over here, as you guys can see, Spectral Rover, this character over here can inflict Spectral Frazzle. So putting this character with Zani is a really great idea. If we come back over here to his ultimate, you guys can see he can apply 6 stacks of Spectral Frazzle. And then with his resonance skill, I think we can, I don't think he can. Wait, I think he can actually inflict it with his resonance skill as well. Can he? I don't think he can. Okay, there, yeah, I can see. Okay, so you guys can see for Forte Circuit resonance skill resonating spin, he can apply 2 stacks of Spectral Frazzle along with Shimmer. It says Shimmer prevents Spectral Frazzle stacks from reducing over time. So this right here is really good because the way that Zani works, if you take a look at this echo set over here, by the way, this is my Zani's build, by the way. I put it on auto, but the set that you're gonna put on her is Eternal Radiance, right? And you guys might be wondering, well, how can you put her Eternal Radiance on a character if she can inflict Spectral Frazzle? She actually can. Now the thing is, the way that she inflicts Spectral Frazzle is very, very unique. So if I come over here to this website, since her kit is already confirmed, I can go ahead and just show you guys this over here. So it's called Scorching Ember. So when we read her kit, this is the one thing I can't stand about Kuro and the way that they word their kits. It's like they don't like it. If they just put Spectral Frazzle with Scorching Ember, I'll be like, okay, she can actually inflict that. But the thing is, it's the only reason why she can do that is for the echo set, right? So if we come over here, let me see if I can actually find it. Okay, so there it is. So Scorching Ember. So it says Zani obtains a certain number of blaze based on the stacks of Scorching Ember. Scorching Ember are considered Spectral Frazzle for triggering Eternal Radiance set effects. So this is specifically for her echo set, Eternal Radiance. Like, if you want to rely on a character who can inflict a lot of Spectral Frazzle, you don't want to depend on Zani, okay? You don't want to depend on her because Scorching Ember is specifically for her, and it's specifically for the fact that she's able to inflict Scorching Ember so that she can trigger Eternal Radiance. You still want to use a Spectral Frazzle character for this part over here when it says when Zani is in a team and a nearby resonator inflicts Spectral Frazzle upon a target, immediately consume all stacks of Spectral Frazzle to deal damage, then convert them into an equal number of Scorching Ember. So you still need another Spectral character because in order for her to consume all the stacks, like in order for it to consume all stacks of Spectral Frazzle, you need Phoebe, you need Spectral Rover, so that they can inflict Spectral Frazzle stacks. And then once it's fully maxed out, then you switch on over to Zani. She consumes all of it and she converts them into an equal number of Scorching Ember. And it says every time the conversion happens, Zani obtains a certain number of blaze based on the stacks of Scorching Ember. Scorching Ember are considered Spectral Frazzle for triggering Eternal Radiance set effect. So as soon as she consumes it, it's gonna pretty much convert. She's pretty much converting Spectral Frazzle stacks to Scorching Ember, and that's considered as Zani inflicting Spectral Frazzle. It might sound confusing. I know it sounds confusing, but yeah, like Zani, she can't really like inflict it. Like if you're trying to depend on Zani to inflict it through her basic attack, heavy attack, or resonance skill, I don't think she can actually inflict it. It's more like you have to rely on another Spectral Frazzle unit to inflict it, and then she converts it to Scorching Ember, and that counts as Zani inflicting Spectral Frazzle, right? So once again, she can't really inflict it compared to Phoebe and Zani, Phoebe and Spectral Rover, but she can convert it, and that's her inflicting it, right? So once you trigger that, when she does that, you guys can see over here, you're going to get additional spectral damage. And then for Eternal Radiance, the full set effect, it says inflicting Spectral Frazzle on enemies increases crit rate, attacking enemies inflicted with 10 stacks of Spectral Frazzle increases spectral damage. So you want to get that 10 stacks. So that's why using her with a Spectral Frazzle unit is required in order for you to actually use this set. Like if you're not using her with Spectral Rover or a Phoebe, you know, this set, like you're really not going to do much with the set at all, because it's going to be very hard for you to actually get that 10 stacks. And Zani is converting Spectral Frazzle stacks to a Scorching Ember, which is considered as her actually inflicting Spectral Frazzle. So if you're using Eternal Radiance, you're going to have to use her with a Spectral unit, for example, Phoebe or Spectral Rover. Now, of course, when it comes to main stats, so I am running crit rate on her because I am going to summon for her weapon. So we got crit rate. When it comes to sub stats, you want to focus on crit rate, crit damage, heavy attack damage bonus, and of course attack percentage. I feel like those are like the top stats for Zani, because she does deal heavy attack damage. So getting that, you know, heavy attack damage as a substat is really, really good. I think the fifth one is probably going to be Resonance Liberation, maybe, I don't know, but I'm really confident that is crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage, and heavy attack damage. You guys can see, you know, this one is actually not that bad. It looks pretty good. And then for cost 3, we got crit damage, crit rate. We also got a heavy attack damage bonus. You also want to run spectral damage bonus. And then for this one right here is also going to be spectral damage bonus. We got 21% crit damage, 8.6% attack, and 7.9% heavy attack damage bonus. This one over here is just straight dog shit. I'm going to try to switch this, but you also want to run attack for your cost 1. And then for your other cost 1, of course, is going to be attack as well. This one is decent. It has some heavy attack damage bonus and I think resist separation, but the basic attack needs to go away. We definitely need crit damage on this one. But when it comes to your 4 cost echo, so what should your 4 cost echo be for Zani? So I am running Nightmare Morning Aches on Zani, but the thing is, you can also run Capitanus, cost 3 Capitanus. But the problem is, for cost 3 Capitanus, you can't really have like a crit rate main stat or a crit damage main stat. You can only get like, you know, energy recharge, attack, I think HP. You really can't have crit rate or crit damage as a main stat for cost 3 echoes. So the reason why I say cost 3 Capitanus is actually good for your main slot is because it says summon a Capitanus and deal spectral damage to enemies. Equipping this echo in the main slot grants spectral damage bonus and heavy attack damage bonus. So, you know, the heavy attack damage bonus is actually going to be very, very nice for Zani. So if you really want to focus on her heavy attack, then Capitanus is a great option. Really, really good for your main main slot echo. But at the same time, remember, you can't put crit rate or crit damage on cost 3 echoes. But you know, if you don't like, the thing is, if you're gonna put Capitanus as your main cost echo, your main slot, you want to get as much crit rate as much as possible. And this is if you're gonna get her weapon. If you're gonna get her weapon, you want to get as much crit rate and crit damage as a substat as much as possible. Like if you are going to run Capitanus, crit rate and crit damage has to be in every single echo. Like it has to be in every single piece if you don't want your crit rate and crit damage to be dog shit, because you are going to get that 20% crit rate bonus from Eternal Radiance. Like if we come over here, you're going to get 20%, which is very nice, but you still want to get a lot of crit rate as a substat. So I will say you want to get at least, I don't know, if you have Shorekeeper, you could probably get at least 50% crit rate minimum, or probably 40% crit rate minimum. But yeah, you definitely need to get a lot of crit rate as a substat if you want to run Capitanus as your main slot echo. But I'm not going to do that because I don't feel comfortable with Capitanus being main slot, so I am going to run Morning Aches instead. Morning Aches is actually not that bad. It says deal increased damage to enemies inflicted by Spectral Frazzle, and equipping this echo in the main slot grants spectral damage bonus. It's not as good compared to Capitanus, but you know, it's still really, really good, and I'm pretty much, you know, comfortable with that crit rate. And when it comes to, you know, my stats overall, as you guys can see, I'm popping like 51.3% crit rate. You can add that with the 20% because of the echo set. That's going to be like 71.3%, and we add that with Shorekeeper, I'm going to be around like probably like 89%, 90%, which is really good. And of course, for her crit damage, it's going to be very high as well. We're probably going to sit around like 250% or 260% because of her weapon, which gives like I think a 48% crit damage boost. So we're cooking. We're cooking with our Zani. The heavy attack damage bonus is not bad. Plus, I'm pretty sure for a forte, you do get additional crit rate for a forte, which is really, really good overall. So we're doing very, very nice with her. So that's pretty much, her echo, right? You want to run Eternal Radiance, but if you don't want to run Eternal Radiance, right, you can run, if we come over here, let me see, you can run Celestial Light. Is going to give her additional spectral damage, and it says upon using the intro skill, spectral damage increases. This can be good too. I will say Spectral Frazzle damage is really huge in her kit, but if you want to run Celestial Light for some reason, you can use it. You can try it out. I think Celestial Light might be good if you're not running her in a Spectral Frazzle team. Maybe, because it's going to be very hard for her to use her forte if you're not running her with a character that can actually inflict Spectral Frazzle stacks. So you can probably run Celestial Light, but I would highly recommend you guys to focus on Eternal Radiance because it's just her best in slot set. Now, when it comes to like her best in slot teams, of course, her best in slot team is going to be, of course, you have Zani over here as your main DPS unit. You have Phoebe, who's going to be in her confession state because she is going to inflict Spectral Frazzle stacks in her confession state. And then, of course, you're going to have Shorekeeper or Verena as like your, support unit. So that's like the best in slot team for Zani, right? Because when we take a look at Phoebe, I don't have the character, unfortunately, and I'm not going to summon for her. But I'm pretty sure if we come over here to gallery and then we check crossing stars, there we go. So, when it comes to Phoebe, I mean, this character is going to be extremely broken with Zani. You take a look at her outro skill. You guys can see you get 100% Spectral Frazzle damage amplification. And it says when Spectral Frazzle inflicts damage, extend Spectral Frazzle's damage interval by 50%. The effect can last for 30 seconds until Phoebe switches to Absolution status, which is absolutely insane. So, like, hey, like her outro skill is just extremely busted for Zani. And then when it comes to her confession state, she can inflict multiple Spectral Frazzle stacks. As you guys can see, it says hold Resonant skill to cast Resonant skill utter confession, dealing spectral damage and applying 1 stack of Spectral Frazzle to the target's hit. Phoebe enters confession status, which allows her to better exploit Spectral Frazzle. So, of course, if you're going to use her in Zani team, which I recommend you to, you want to put her in that Spectral Frazzle confession state mode where like she can consistently inflict it, and this can pretty much help Zani a lot more. So yeah, Zani clearly best in slot. I mean, Phoebe clearly best in slot for Zani. Like, she's just absolutely insane. You guys can see for her ultimate, she can apply 8 stacks of Spectral Frazzle to target's hit. Really, really good overall. So yeah, Phoebe, Zani, Shorekeeper, or Verena. Now, of course, if you don't have Phoebe like I do, you can go ahead and run her with, you can put Zani as your main DPS, and then you can put Spectral Rover as like your, I'll say, sub DPS unit, and you can put Shorekeeper or Verena as like your support. Now, that team is probably going to be her second best in slot because of, the fact that Spectral Rover, he can actually inflict a good amount of Spectral Frazzle. And then another good part about him, it says over here, I'm pretty sure he can like freeze the stacks. So like, of course, for his ultimate, it says applying 6 stacks of Spectral Frazzle. It's less than Phoebe's because she can apply 8, right? But he can actually freeze it. Not freeze it, but like thanks to Shimmer, it says prevent Spectral Frazzle stacks from reducing over time. So he can essentially freeze it. He can freeze the Spectral Frazzle stacks, which is also pretty good. So, Spectral Rover, really, really nice for Zani, but at the same time, when it comes to Spectral Frazzle damage amplification, he can't do that, unfortunately. So, I do feel like if you don't have Phoebe, and if you're not going to put her with Zani, and you're going to put Spectral Rover, it's probably going to be a huge damage loss due to the fact that Phoebe can provide a huge Spectral Frazzle damage amplification. And if you also have her weapon as well, she can give like a 30% Spectral Frazzle damage amplification, which is actually insane. So you're getting like 130% from Phoebe, right? Meanwhile, for Spectre Rover, he's not really buffing her damage whatsoever. He's just there to make sure that you can use Zani properly, right? You can use her properly. So yeah, Spectre Rover also very nice as well. Now, another character that might work really well with Zani is of course Mortefi. I gotta level this guy up. But the reason why I have to level him up is because I don't really have a heavy attack focus unit, but you know, it is what it is. But Mortefi, this guy over here, he's going to be very nice with her due to the fact that he can amplify heavy attack, right? And the fact that she is going to be a heavy attack focused character, Mortefi might be very, very good. But just remember, guys, if you're gonna run Mortefi with Zani, you're gonna have to put Spectre Rover with her as well. And you know, the good thing about Spectre Rover is, I will say, he does provide heals, so you can use him as like your healer. Like if we come over here to his constellations, you guys can see when you look at his third dupe, where is it, fourth dupe, there it is. It says when casting Resonance Liberation, Echo and Resonance, Rover continuously restores HP for all team members. HP equal to 20% of Rover's attack will be restored every second for 5 seconds. So you know, you can run Zani, Mortefi, Spectral Rover. That could be a very nice team, right? Because once again, you want to put her in a team where she can actually function properly, and the only way that can happen is if you put her with a Spectral Frazzle character. Okay, so if you have at least S4 Rover, he can heal, which is really good. And if you get like S6 Rover, he can reduce the target spectral resistance by 10% for 20 seconds. So that's another great team: Zani, Mortefi, and Spectral Rover. And fourth team, if I were to like craft a fourth team, honestly, like of course you can try like Zani, Phoebe, and Mortefi. You can try something like that. But once again, when it comes to Zani, she's very restrictive due to the fact that you need to put her with a Spectral Frazzle unit, right? So you put her with a Spectral Frazzle character, and you only have one slot left. And if for that last slot, it's either you run a support character or you run Mortefi for additional heavy attack damage. That's really much it. Like there's really not a lot of alternatives when it comes to Zani. And of course, you can try multiple teams with her when she releases. But as of to right now, like the ideal team, like the best teams for her would be Zani, Phoebe, and Shorekeeper / Verena, or Zani, Spectral Rover, and Shorekeeper or Verena. Or you can run Zani, Mortefi, Spectral Rover, or Phoebe, something like that. Those are like the main teams I can think of as of to right now when it comes to Zani. So that's pretty much what I've been doing recently. I've been trying to like, you know, trying to figure out multiple teams with her, you know, trying to you know, grind her echo set. And you know, we're pretty much set. We're good to go. Let's come back to the game over here. I do have around like, you know, 6,000 Astrites, 25 Radiant Tides. You know, hopefully we can get the character. And of course we have like 10 Fortune Tides as well. I'm gonna keep grinding. And shit, I might drop some money, I ain't gonna lie, because I'm really trying to get this character, because we're definitely gonna get her weapon as well. So, you know, good luck to me. But we got 20 hours left. I'm pretty sure she is releasing tomorrow, I think. So, you know, once tomorrow hits, man, hey, it's game time, boys. It's game time, man. It's time to, you know, battle the gacha, man. Battle the gacha. But, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully help you guys out if you're trying to build your Zani. And yeah, pretty much it. When it comes to weapons or whatever, we're just gonna wait for her to release to figure out, you know, which weapons work best on her. But my plan is, when Zani releases, once I get her weapon, and if I actually do get Zani, I am not going to use her weapon, because her weapon does have Spectral Frazzle damage amplification. So I'm not going to use it yet. I want to see how she performs without Spectral Frazzle damage amplification, and to see if her damage is actually reasonable. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if her damage is actually decent outside of Spectral Frazzle damage amplification. And if it's like a huge you know, if there's like a huge gap between her not getting Spectral Frazzle damage amplification and her, you know, having that Spectral Frazzle damage amplification, then that might be a problem. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, that might be a problem. And that's why I say we definitely need a 4-star unit that can amplify Spectral Frazzle damage. That would have been very, very cool. But unfortunately, we don't have that right now. So yeah, once again, her team comps look very restrictive right now. But you know, if you have Spectral Rover, that's probably going to be good enough. All right, that's probably going to be good enough. And you know, hopefully Kuro, they release more 4-star units, especially Spectral 4-star characters, so that, you know, whenever these units release and if they rely on negative stats effect, we can go ahead and pop them with that 4-star Spectral unit or whatever 4-star character, and we can go ahead and amplify their damage if they're dealing like negative status damage. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Adios.